Micah. Chapter 5. Now gather yourself in troops, O daughter of troops, he has laid a siege against us. With a rod they strike on the cheek the judge of Israel. But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, so little to be among the thousands of Judah, from you there will come forth to me he who is to be ruler in Israel, and his goings forth are from ancient times, from the days of eternity. Therefore he will give them up until the time when she who is in labor delivers the child, then the remainder of his brothers will return, along with the children of Israel. And he will stand and feed his flock in the strength of Jehovah, in the majesty of the name of Jehovah his God, and they will abide, for now he will be great unto the ends of the earth. And this one will be the peace. When Assyria comes into our land and when he treads in our palaces, we will raise up against him 7 shepherds and 8 princes of men. And they will waste the land of Assyria with the sword and the land of Nimrod at its entrances. And he will save us from Assyria, when he comes into our land and when he treads in our border. And the remnant of Jacob will be in the midst of many peoples like dew from Jehovah, like abundant showers upon the herbage, which do not tarry for man and do not wait for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob will be among the nations, in the midst of many peoples, like a lion among the beasts of the forest, like a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he should pass through, tramples under and tears up, and there is none to deliver from him. Your hand will be raised up against your adversaries, and all your enemies will be cut off. In that day, declares Jehovah, I will cut off your horses from the midst of you and will destroy your chariots. And I will cut off the cities of your land and will throw down all your strongholds. And I will cut off the sorceries from your hand, and you will not have soothsayers. And I will cut off your idols and your pillars from your midst, and you will no longer worship the work of your hands. And I will pluck up your Asherahs from your midst, and I will destroy your cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger and wrath upon the nations that have not listened. Micah. Chapter 6. Hear now what Jehovah says, Arise, contend before the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice. Hear, O mountains, Jehovah's contention, and you enduring foundations of the earth, for Jehovah has a contention with his people, and with Israel he will dispute. O my people, what have I done to you? And with what have I wearied you? Testify against me. For I brought you up out of the land of Egypt, and from the slave house I redeemed you, and I sent before you Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak the king of Moab counseled, and what Balaam the son of Beor answered him, from Shittim to Gilgal, that you may know the righteous acts of Jehovah. With what shall I come before Jehovah and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with 1-year-old calves? Will Jehovah be pleased with thousands of rams, with tens of thousands of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has declared to you, O man, what is good, and what does Jehovah require of you, but that you would execute justice and love mercy and walk humbly with your God. The voice of Jehovah cries out to the city, and wisdom looks upon your name. Hear the rod and him who appointed it. Are there yet treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and a scant measure that is abominable? Shall I be pure with wicked balances and with a bag of deceitful weights? For the rich men of the city are full of violence, and those who inhabit it speak falsehood, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Thus I also have made you sick by striking you, I have made you desolate because of your sins. You will eat, but you will not be satisfied, and your emptiness will remain in the midst of you, and you will take away, but you will not rescue, and what you rescue I will give up to the sword. You will sow, but you will not reap, you will tread olives, but you will not anoint yourself with oil, and the new wine, but you will not drink wine. For the statutes of Omri are kept, and all the works of the house of Ahab, and you walk in their counsels, that I may make you a desolation, and the inhabitants of the city a hissing, and you will bear the reproach of my people. Micah. Chapter 7. Woe is me! For I am like a gathering of summer fruit and like a gleaning of the vintage, there is no cluster to eat, nor first-ripe fig, which my soul desires. The godly man has perished from the land, and there is none upright among men, they all lie in wait for bloodshed, they each hunt their brother with a net. Both hands are set upon evil, to do it well, the prince asks for it, and the judge agrees, for a reward, and the great man, he utters the evil desire of his soul, and they weave it together. The best one among them is like a briar, the most upright is worse than a thorn hedge. The day of your watchman, your visitation, has come, now will be their confounding. Do not trust in a neighbor, do not put your confidence in a friend, keep the doors of your mouth from her who lies in your bosom. For the son treats the father like a fool, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law, against her mother-in-law, a man's enemies are the men of his own house. But as for me, I will look for Jehovah, I will wait for the God of my salvation, my God will hear me. Do not rejoice against me, O my enemy, when I fall, I will rise up, when I sit in the darkness, Jehovah will be a light to me. I will bear the indignation of Jehovah, for I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute justice for me, he will bring me forth into the light, I will see his righteousness. Then my enemy will see, and shame will cover her who said to me, Where is Jehovah your God? My eyes will see her, at that time she will become trampled like mud in the streets. A day for building your walls. In that day the decree will be far away. In that day they will come even unto you from Assyria and from the cities of Egypt, and from Egypt even to the river, and from sea to sea and mountain to mountain. But the land will become desolate because of the inhabitants in it, due to the fruit of their doings. Shepherd your people with your rod, the flock of your inheritance, who dwell alone in the forest Indiana, the midst of Carmel, let them feed in Bashan and Gilead as in the days of old. As in the days of your going forth out from the land of Egypt, I will show you wonders. The nations will see and be ashamed of all their might, they will put the hand over the mouth, their ears will be deaf. They will lick the dust like a serpent, like crawling things of the earth, they will come quivering from their enclosed places, to Jehovah our God they will turn in fear and be afraid because of you. Who is a God like you, pardoning iniquity and passing over the transgression of the remnant of his inheritance? He does not retain his anger forever, for he delights in loving kindness. He will again have compassion on us, he will tread our iniquities underfoot. And you will cast into the depths of the sea all their sins. You will perform truth to Jacob, and loving kindness to Abraham, which you have sworn to our fathers from the days of old.